So it's day one for you inside of Call of Dragons, or maybe you're looking to download the game and trying to figure out your path and your way to be the most efficient inside of the game. In today's guide, I'm going to walk you through all of the progress, the progression, and probably one of the best ways for you to progress on your first few days inside of Call of Dragons. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo. Welcome to my new channel and welcome to Call of Dragons if you're a brand new player. I want to preface this before we dive into the video. Progression is for being completely optimal inside of the game. What we're about to talk about is so that you could be as close to perfect in your start as possible, because some people play this game and they want to be the best on top with the most progression they could possibly have, whether they are a free-to-play player or whether they are someone that is playing as a paid player. Doesn't matter either way, although progression may vary. But you could also play the game and continually progress in your own path. It doesn't have to be according to this guide, but this guide is here in place to kind of give you some guidance, hence it being a guide, a little roadmap for you so you know what things are important for you and what things maybe you can forget about and just put to the side for a while. With that being said, essentially it's important that everything gets upgraded at some point in time inside of your city. So let's start out with some of the most important structures that you could upgrade first. I'm also assuming that you guys have already chosen your faction. To be honest with you, most people are going with League of Order or Spring Warden. As I'm here in the beta, I did go with Spring Warden, but I am going to be going with the League of Order when I do launch my brand new account on launch day. So let's talk about the buildings. Let's start out there. And of course, everything revolves around this one structure, your Sacred Hall. Now, your Sacred Hall is essentially your town hall, the heart of everything that goes on inside of your village. It gives you your buffs, it gives you your military buffs, and as you progress it higher and higher, those buffs increase. Now, obviously, it's going to be your job here to try and get this as high as you can as quickly as possible. And to do that, there's some routes that you have to go. There's going to be requirements. For example, if I want to upgrade this now, I need to make sure that my Alliance Center and my wall is upgraded to the proper level so I can then advance. Keep in mind, keeping your wall up to level with your Sacred Hall is essential to always get your Sacred Hall up. So throughout this entire video, just assume that your wall is going to have to be upgraded alongside the upgrade progression of the Sacred Hall itself. So your wall is right over here and the upgrade would happen here. And of course, there are requirements along the way. So I will need to get at least one of my Herbalist huts, which is the hospital, up to level 7 before I can do the wall. But remember, we only have to do that for one of them. You don't have to upgrade both of these to complete that requirement for the wall. Now, the Alliance Center is super important. Why is that important and what is this? This is essentially your help center. The higher level your Alliance Center, which I have upgrading right now, the more helps you can get when you request a help, which means the more helps you can get from your alliance, the quicker your upgrades are going to happen. So with keeping that in mind, it's a smart building to upgrade because it's going to cost you less, use less speed ups, and take less time if you keep your Alliance Center as high up as possible. Now, your research. For me, it is the School of Ages. Keeping this upgraded is also very important. It's going to be able to unlock more and more of the tree for you to unlock along the way, because of course doing your research is important as well. Keep in mind, guys, you're going to want to unlock tier 2 troops, tier 3 troops, tier 4 troops, and to do that you need to progress your research. So make sure that your School of Ages or your research center is updated as high as it can possibly be, so you can continuously get that research, continually get the helps, and use your speed ups to further progress your research. Now, there are a bunch of activities and events and just things that happen inside of the game. Keep in mind, utilizing speed ups, the best time to use them is when you are rewarded for using them. So when an event comes into the game that rewards you for using speed ups, this is the best time for you to utilize speed ups for research or for your upgrades so that you can get the rewards that are being given for using those speed ups, rather than just using them when you want to use them when there's no reward for using them. Now let's talk about the barracks for a second. You're going to have 4 different barracks. Depending on the faction that you choose, they're going to have different troops and they're going to be named different things. But these I like to keep to level because no, it does not allow you to train higher level troops. That's not how barracks work inside of the game. The higher level your barracks are, the more troops you can train at one time. So rather than training troops that take 35 minutes and every 35 minutes I have to hop in and train up more, it can get to the point where it can be hours. You can train up your troops, then log in and collect them all and get more troops training, because you should always have troops training, whether they're for battle or whether they're for farming. You never want to have your barracks just sitting stagnant. Continuously train troops. This is how you're going to gain power. It's going to help you as you progress through the game, and it's going to give you the troops that you need to take care of tasks inside of the game, whether it's battles, whether it's upgrading of structures, or whether it's even going out and farming different positions on the map. Always keep your units going. And like I said, not essential all the time, but I do like to keep my barracks as high as I can so that I can get my troops just more brewing, more training at one time. Now, on the same note, you're gonna want to get your troops as high level as you can. And as I mentioned a moment ago, that has to do with your research. Now, here I am, my research has just finished up. My goal is to come right over here and unlock the next level of my troops. This is gonna give me stronger troops that are able to carry more, that are able to do more damage, that are able to have more abilities and be able to be more efficient and really viable in all elements of the game. End game, you want to have tier 5, but right now we're just starting out. So what I need to do are required research points along the way so that I can unlock those. As you can see right here, just so that I can move on to intelligence gathering 1, I need to complete right here infantry protection 1, which I need to come over here and research this first. So keeping your progression going inside of your research brackets or your military tech or your gathering and farming tech, it's important, all right? And always ask for the help and try and, just like the troops and always have troops training, try and always have research going. And as I mentioned, utilize those speed ups at optimal times, specifically when there's events going on that reward you for doing so. Now, we spoke about some of these topics in our beginner's guide, but I'm gonna kind of revisit them here for people that may not have seen that video. If you missed the beginner's guide, I highly suggest you go check it out, because it's gonna give you some more in-depth tips about really things that you need to know as a brand new player. But we have events that go on every single day inside of the game, and just doing simple things such as logging on, they will give you rewards, which will bring you resources, which you're going to need for all the upgrades that we've been talking about so far. Resources can be hard to come by. A lot of people that are high level are going to be playing with multiple accounts. A farming account, which will basically feed their main account. I don't love the idea of that, but I know that I'm going to probably have to do it at some point in time. I'm not starting that right now. Maybe this account will eventually be that farm account. But for now, I'm trying to get as many resources and do as much as I can while just participating on this account. Again, this, what we're looking at right here, is in the beta, and it's an account that I'm not going to be maining when the game does launch. But we saw events right there. There's also other events that go on inside of the game, including the Tails, which will give you rewards, and of course, including the Dragon Trail. The Dragon Trail resets every season, so you're gonna want to and have to complete it over and over again. But you want to progress this as far as you can, right? And some days you may be like, I'm stuck on the Dragon Trail. You'll forget about it for a little while. And then you'll say, time to come back to this so that I can actually go in and progress it further, because again, you get passive rewards for doing this. Let me take you through the Dragon Trail. It's super easy. All you're gonna do is take your troops, send them into battle. They're gonna take down all the enemies. And once you progress, you'll get rewards for progressing, and then you'll get continued rewards over time for having progressed to that certain point. Sometimes you got to make sure that your troops engage in the battle. You don't want them just sitting behind and doing absolutely nothing. But it looks like we did pull in a victory right here. And as you're going to see, we're going to get rewards for that victory. And then we get regular rewards as the days go on, as I have progressed further down the trail. Here's some rewards right here. Delicious. Now, again, as we spoke of in the beginner's guide, you're going to want to join an alliance family. For me, I am in Blood Moon. We are going to be doing amazing things, and we are putting together a concerted effort to really enjoy the game. I hope you guys follow me on that journey. I will be linking the Discord server for Blood Moon if you want to just be in the casual elements of the server to say what's up, or if you want to actually play high level, be a top tier player, and join us on the journey, you can apply for that as well. But Blood Moon is a name that you're going to hear quite a bit here on the channel, and that we are really looking forward to sharing our experiences with you. The alliance that I'm in right now, like I mentioned, this is just alliance on beta server. I don't know anyone. It's just an active alliance that gives me the helps that I need, and I return the favor. Now, we need to remember, guys, everything doesn't live inside of the city. And although on day 1, day 2, we're really focused on upgrading the city, you're going to also want to be focusing on the outside world as well. Allow me to take you there, because we have a massive map with tons of things to do, territory that you need to claim so that you could have the best positioning and essentially at the end of the day dominate your kingdom. But that is high level and a long ways away from now. But all the things that we're doing right now essentially are to get us to that point inside of the game. It is considered end game, and it is absolutely fun. But let's look at some of the things in the map. So you have things that you can go and gather. So for me, I think gathering is also always important. When you're not going out and battling dark elves or anything like that, you should be gathering resources, because again, you're gonna need them. But if you don't even know what any of that means yet because you're brand new, a really helpful tool is this hourglass on the left-hand side. When you click on that, you could search for enemies to attack, or you could search for things to gather or to farm. All right, so let's do an example of just attacking. Now, if you played Rise of Kingdoms, you probably know attacking barbarians inside of Rise of Kingdoms, right? Very similar here, but we could look for Darkling patrols, dark creatures, or dark guards. Let's see if we can find ourselves some dark creatures really quickly. Looks like we have some right here, so all we're gonna do is click on it. We're gonna click on attack. Let's multi-create right here. I'm gonna march them out there, and I want them to stay in their position. Doing this is gonna allow for them to cost less of what's needed to attack, because you are limited every day. And again, that's something we spoke about in the beginner's guide. We'll get into that in just a moment, but this battle is about to happen. Notice some of my troops are ranged. Some of them are up close to the battle, but we're gonna take them down. We're gonna get rewards for doing so. And hopefully, I believe I set them up so they hold their position so they don't run back home. If they run back home, it's gonna cost the same amount to send them out again. So it looks like this is over, done with, rewards have been received, and they are still out on the battlefield. There's a button that you need to click to make sure that they stay out there so that you don't have to worry about them just running back home. Now, if I double click on them right here, I should be able to drag them both over, and I can attack other troops. There's level 10s right over here. We're gonna go in for this battle and see if we can win with both of them. Now remember, your troops, they're automatically going to be healed up at home. It happens for free. Of course, we can speed that up, but it does happen for free at no cost, which is a really nice feature of the game that I actually like. So in doing this, we're essentially farming by attacking, and we're gaining XP for our heroes from doing these attacks as well. So now out here, I have a little gathering station. So I'm going to want to send one of my commanders home, because I'm going to send another one out to do some of that gathering that we spoke of. We need to make sure that we are always gathering so we have the proper resources that we need when it's time to actually get on in there and do those upgrades that we are continuously progressing. So right now we have this position here of ore. We're going to hit gather. It's going to automatically choose one of your better gatherers, and you can simply march them out. Of course, you're going to want to work on the skill trees for all of your heroes, whether it be gatherers, whether it be peacekeepers, or whatever it may be, so that they can be more efficient at the tasks that you plan on using them for. Notice my research that we spoke of earlier has just completed Infantry 1. Now I can come over here and do Infantry Protection 1, which will then open up this final line, which will allow me to go to Intelligence Gathering, and then I can progress over here to start getting my troop levels up to the next level. Notice we did not have to go and max out all of these skill positions here and all of these upgrades for military tech to progress further down. There will be requirements along the way. You may have to go back and do some of that, but essentially you want to take your fastest path to upgrading your troops to the highest T levels as possible. And of course, make sure you participate in all the events that come inside of the game, especially if you're really trying to progress your account and be a really solid player inside of the game. You don't want to miss out on potential heroes that you may not be able to get later in time. Make sure you unlock the things that you want that may only be available for certain times, so that if you ever want to use them, you'll have that possibility because you already have them in your account. So to recap and really focus on what the initial thoughts were here for this video, the structures that you're going to want to really make primary are going to be your Sacred Hall. You're going to want to focus on your Alliance Center. Of course, you're going to want to work on your School of Ages for the research, and without saying, your wall needs to be upgraded as well, so you can make sure that your Sacred Hall, or so your City Hall, can be upgraded to the next level. Of course, requirements will come and be in your way along the way. An example right here, if I'm upgrading my wall, it's telling me that the Herbalist Hut needs to be upgraded, which then sometimes even some of these, for example, the Foundry needs to be upgraded. So you have to do other things to upgrade things along the way. Keep up with that. Make sure that things are always progressing, that you're always gathering and farming so that you can have enough resources to make sure all of this happens. And don't be scared. And you actually should be utilizing your resources that you have. What you have over here in your satchel, they are here to be used. Keep in mind, when you look up at the top right here, all the resources you see up top, they can be stolen from you if you happen to be attacked. That's a typical thing with kingdom builders. But everything in your resource bag, they are pretty safe in there. So try and keep them in here until you need them, just for safety reasons. You also have all your speed ups to utilize, and you have other things that can help you progress along the way. This is going to be a fun journey, everyone. And as I mentioned, there is not a right or a wrong way to do things if you are just a casual player trying to enjoy a brand new kingdom builder, which we're having here in Call of Dragons. But if you want to be optimal and you're trying to do the best routes, you're going to follow some of these guides that we have coming out on the channel, because they will give you quicker progression towards your end game where you're actually trying to be. So far, the videos I've been putting out on the channel are very much for beginners and new players because, well, that's where a lot of people are right now. The game is just about to get started. So look forward to more in-depth guides and following me on my journey as I continue deeper and deeper into Call of Dragons. And remember to subscribe so that you don't miss out on all the upcoming stuff. You're going to want to see what's going on with my Alliance Blood Moon throughout this entire experience. Plus, you're going to want to see more guides, tips, and seeing what's going on in the kingdoms as everything happens. We're going to be keeping you in touch with all of that here through videos and live streams. I'm super excited, which is why I made a brand new channel just for this game. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see all you guys back here in tomorrow's video.